Rena's story. Yeah, so everything we talk about here is confidential, so it's important that you feel safe, feel comfortable, because when people come talk to me, they often have some sensitive issues they need to talk about. So, are you okay to go ahead with working with me?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, great. Can you tell me a little bit about how you are doing and what brings you in?
I'm just feeling pretty bad. Yeah, I just feel like, you know how you have plans that you set for yourself, and you think, oh, by 30 this will happen, and I feel like it was going in the right direction, and then everything just got messed up, and it's mostly my fault, so.
Yeah. So you find yourself in a place where things aren't going as you had planned that they would, and a sense of feeling like you're to blame.
Yes.
Yeah, and can you tell me a little bit how your life looks like? What does it look like day to day?
It's pretty stupid. I live with my mom now, and I'm on disability, so I don't have a job. So, I, basically watch TV in her basement. Have fights with her and that's about all.
Yeah. And do you have friends?
Not now, I used to have friends, but the thing is, now I just feel like I'm kind of a burden to them more than a friend, so I just don't really reach out to them.
Sure, well, can you say a little bit more about your relationship is like with your mother?
Well, she.
And how you interact with her?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably annoying for her that I'm living there. But she is still kind of treating me like a child, like always asking, what I'm eating and what my insulin levels are and.
Yeah, that sounds really like you're in a really difficult situation right now. Things sound really, really hard for you. I am person-centered oriented therapist, but the kind of approach to therapy that I will provide to you is a form of counseling called cognitive behavioral therapy. Have you heard of that before?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. So cognitive behavioral therapy is a form of psychotherapy, and it was developed in the 1960s by a psychiatrist by the name of Dr. Aaron Beck. And one of the reasons it's become very, very popular is because there's a lot of research to support that it's really effective. It really does help people improve their mood, and it teaches them skills to manage their mood on their own. So, we would meet once a week for an hour for a certain number of sessions, and there are 168 hours during the week. So I would ask that you would practice what we learn, these skills for managing your mood, outside of the sessions. So, the more that people are able to practice the skills outside of the session, the greater the likelihood that there would be success in improving your mood.
Okay.
Does that sound like something that you could do?
I can try.
To give it a try. To try and do something just a little bit, every day to improve your mood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing I would like to say is that it's really not uncommon for people to suffer from mood problems. It's a very difficult adjustment to make when your life goes one way and then all of a sudden it changes very suddenly. So cognitive behavioral therapy is really focused on understanding the connection between our thoughts and our feelings. So, we have thoughts that are going around in our minds all the time, and they really do impact on how we feel emotionally. So to kind of illustrate how that works, I want to bring up an example that you already brought up in terms of your relationship with your mother. So, you talked about how your mother is sort of on your case, and sometimes she will ask you, have you checked your blood sugar levels? So, in that kind of situation, what kind of thoughts would come up in your mind?
Well, I think that she's treating me like a child, and that I should not be living with her in the first place.
Okay.
And that I can't even take care of myself properly.
Okay. So you feel like you are a child. You're thinking that you're being treated like a child that shouldn't be living there.
Yeah.
Should be on your own? Okay, so those are the thoughts that come up. So, I'm going to use this as an example to illustrate what we call the 5-point model. So, we start with the thoughts, and then related to our thoughts can be emotion. So when you have these kinds of thoughts in this kind of situation, what kind of emotions would you experience?
Well, I feel angry at my mother.
Okay.
And I feel kind of worthless because I am, and I guess I just feel sad a lot.
Yeah. So those thoughts trigger those emotions? What do you say?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to add to this diagram. So there's 2 more circles that I'm going to add. One of them would be our behaviors, and the other one would be a physical response. So what kind of behaviors do you notice that you may kind of start to do or engage in when this sort of situation happens?
Well, usually I will yell at mother like first thing, but then mostly I will just go back to the basement and watch TV.
Okay. So, you get angry, and you yell, and then you will sort of withdraw. You will isolate in the basement?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay. And what about? Do you notice what kind of physical response? What happens in your body? How you feel in your body when this sort of thing happens?
Yeah, when she and I are yelling at each other, I guess like my muscles are kind of tense, and I just feel like my heart beats really fast.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you can notice in any kind of situation it's quite stressful, a lot of things going on, with our thoughts, our emotions, our behaviors and our physical response, and then to add to this, adding another layer is the environment. So the environment that we're in can also influence how we feel, and so the environment may be supportive or maybe not supportive, and that can influence things. Does this model make sense to you?
Yeah, I understand like how those things are all connected.
Okay, so throughout the course of our counseling sessions, we will be sort of trying to understand how these are all interconnected, but also how you can start to make some changes, so that ultimately your emotions can start to change, okay?
Okay.
So I mentioned how each week I'm going to be asking you to do some homework practice. This will be our plan of action, and so my first homework practice assignment for you this week is for you to track your mood. So, I will send to your email a chart that it's divided up between the days of the week and the hours of the day. And so it asks you to track your mood and your level of depression from hour to hour throughout the day. So you would want to rate how intense your emotions are from 0 to 100 so you can see if there is a fluctuation throughout the day. But also to notice if there is anything that you are doing, like note with activities that you are doing, so you can also see if there is any patterns in terms of like what you do and how you feel. Do you think that you can try that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So it's your homework assignment for the week, and I think we'll end there for today. Do you have any questions as we wrap up?
No, I think that makes sense.
Okay, great. So, we'll make an appointment for next week.
Okay, thank you and see you next week.
Hello guys. I hope you enjoyed Rena's story. I would like to have your thoughts about it. Is her story a common story? What kind of advice would you give to Rena? I would love to hear your comments, and if you have any questions or problems that we could explore, please let me know, and I will do my best to help you. Please, do not forget to like and subscribe. Be safe, and take care. See you on the next video.